Hi, my name is Laquina. I'm an MSW student at the School of Social Welfare at the University of Albany. I will be concentrating on macro during my second year.
I'm Abrea on the clinical track for my second year, and my focus while I'm in Africa was mental health.
My name is Felicia, and I am another second year Masters of Social Work student who went on the study tour to South Africa.
Hello, my name is Nikki. I'm a member of the community and the group that would travel to South Africa.
Hi, my name is Linda. I joined the South Africa trip this year for multiple reasons.
I do the study tour because I'm able to provide experiences for students, for them to see the Africa that I see, and to invite them to explore their thoughts about America and to contrast them to the cradle of civilization. Being able to take 5 extraordinary women of color to both South Africa and Eswatini was a singularly wonderful gift for me.
So something I found surprising about Swaziland was the hotel we stayed in at Forester Arms. The women who served us, they was dressed in certain attire to show respect to their mothers or mother-in-law whenever they went to the mother-in-law homes.
I was just struck at how beautiful Swaziland was. We almost had a near-death experience on the mountain, but it was fun. We made it. We got to see Bulembu and experience what they're trying to do with kids who are orphans, and providing them education, providing them health services. So that was very interesting.
What was unique about our trip is we were the first study group to actually go to Swaziland. It's also called Eswatini. So it was new not only to us, but also to our professor and the other wonderful women who joined us on the trip. They said already the scenery was beautiful, and it was interesting to see the different dress that everyone wore, and that was also one memorable thing for me because I'm not a person who usually wears a lot of dresses and skirts, and we were asked or required in a sense to dress like that to be respectful of their culture.
The highlight of the trip and why Africa matters are actually the same answers. Coming off the plane, knowing that I'm back in the motherland where everything has started, as an African American woman, getting a master's degree in social work is why Africa matters so much. And that was the highlight of the trip. The whole point of going there was the highlight of the trip.
So it's difficult for me to narrow down highlights because there were so many. One that made me extremely emotional was going to the Apartheid Museum and seeing the nooses hanging from the ceiling. It made me start to think about the civil rights era and even before then in the United States where African Americans started being hung from trees. Yeah, it was very overwhelming because I felt like death was literally hanging over me. It made me very emotional. I started crying and I had to exit the room to gather my thoughts and gather myself.
It was enlightening to be at the Hector Peterson Museum, and as we walked in, one of the Africans said, "Welcome home." And there was a glow and a feeling that I felt that I had not felt before.
I was very scared. And now with him being a number 2 problem, it really devastated me. So while I continued talking to him, there was another shot. So we had to go back into hiding. Unfortunately, we went 2 separate ways.
Sounds the call to come together, and united we shall stand. Let us live
think one of the most memorable things for me is actually a compilation of multiple things, which is just being able to meet with various stakeholders or different people who hold different positions in the country and hearing firsthand their experiences of going through South Africa's history.
So we've got the first statue there with an X. What would an X stand for? Or when would we be doing an X? Oh, voting, correct.
So while at the University of Pretoria, we met with Dr. Flavia and some of her colleagues and students. And in that discussion, we started talking about Black women in particular and some of the plights that they face. We talked about the notion of the strong Black woman, and she mentioned Moorisms, which we found very intriguing because it was something that we hadn't heard before. So Moorisms is when a Black woman takes on more and more and more. So she's taking care of herself, she's taking care of her family, she's taking care of her significant other, she's going to school, she's working, she's just taking on a bunch of responsibility because she feels like she needs to be strong and she needs to be able to be independent and handle whatever it is that comes her way.
So because of the Moorism and the strong Black women theory, we have a hard time in the Black community when it comes to mental health. And part of the Moorism and the Black woman theory actually relates to a piece of the apartheid. Because of the apartheid and everything they have went through, they feel like they are capable, there is nothing that they cannot do. So they take on more without noticing what they are doing to their bodies.
One of the reasons that I believe South Africa matters is because their history so closely resembles that of the United States. We see how they had the chance to start almost from scratch. Their constitution is a very young constitution, written in 1996. So it was really an opportunity for the country as a whole to come together and really decide how they wanted to move forward. So in going there, we were able to see some of the ways that they were able to move forward, some of the ways that they're still trying to recover from apartheid. So it's good for us, especially in the United States, to see because we also still have our own struggles that we're still trying to overcome. And I think building that connection, that alliance will be good on both parts to see how we can all move forward as nations, as partners, globally.
Sounds the call to come together.
To me, South Africa is important not only personally but also professionally in social work in general, because as an American or future social worker, it was really interesting to go to another country and learn about how social work is taught and perceived there, as well as how the policies in that country affect how services are delivered, and internalizing the values that I grew up with or the rights that I grew up with, and then experiencing what the Constitution says about their rights, how that affects the people that they can become.
Aspects that stood out to me were, number one, seeing the the shanty towns up close. As you drive by them, you're struck by the hovels, by the stones on roofs so that the roofs won't fly away, and at the poverty. But when you enter into the shanty town itself, you see that it is a viable community.
This trip gave me an opportunity to visit with a former UAlbany student, Kwani, that was here some 14 years ago. She ended up getting her master's and she had a baby while here, and they have become my extended family.
To be in a van with a 14-year-old multilingual South African young girl, her mother, 3 master's students who are in process of completing the degree that our alum completed, in the presence of 2 extraordinary women who are at the end of their careers, was an extraordinary opportunity.
It was very phenomenal to see 3 students of multiple races sit and develop a policy question that initially was a true draft, but as the interviews and the sessions went on, to see these young women develop and evolve their questions, it's just awesome to witness.
South Africa is important to me personally because if I think of the continent of Africa as the motherland, and I do, then South Africa is the sister land, that we share so much in our experiences with the United States and South Africa, with our history, that we are truly as sisters. We're not looking at a finished product. We're looking at a work in process. And there are going to be false starts and trips and so on as people continue to work on it. But the beauty of it is that people are working on it and that we can learn from that.
I think what I'm most grateful for is that I came to understand yet again in a deeper way the wisdom of Dr. Shirley Jones, the founding director of the study tour, that social work and community building are part and parcel of each other. And as we learn about it in America and we learn about it in Africa, we are extraordinarily fortunate and we can make a difference.
For freedom.